Joined on the dais by Fordham's head coach, Stephanie Gaitley. The Rams are 25-8 this season, and we're winners of the Atlantic 10 tournament. We're going to start with an opening statement from Coach, and then we're going to go into questions. When you ask a question, please raise your hand, and I will call on you. Coach, take it away.
Excited to be here. I want to thank Syracuse and their welcoming committee. Everybody has been fantastic. Our hotels, the people there have been fantastic. My escort was fantastic today. So really want to thank them for everything, and excited to be here. You know, have a really great group of kids, one of the best chemistries of my career. And those that are coaches will know that that takes you a long way, and I think that has a lot to do with our success.
All right, we'll open the floor to questions. In the back.
Coach, a bit of a couple differences in philosophy.
Oh, there. Okay, yeah.
Yes, beyond the bright lights. A couple of different philosophies. You guys want to slow the pace down. Syracuse, obviously, a bit of a running gun. How do you plan on slowing them down and kind of maintaining possessions to prevent any big runs from the Orange tomorrow?
I mean, I don't think you can definitely stop them from doing what they do. You just try to hope to contain it. And, you know, that's the one thing that I think, you know, our defense is based on, is trying to make teams do something different. We've faced a very challenging out-of-conference schedule that we've faced teams that are similar to Syracuse in wanting to push the ball aggressively. I think our kids know the importance of valuing each possession. I think on paper, we know the talent level, there's a difference. So for us, you know, we just got to hope to contain them and not let them go on those big runs.
Lindsay, could you wait for the microphone, please?
Too excited to ask my question. Coach Q said you simply don't let other teams score, which if actually correct, you probably won't lose the game in this tournament. But, you know, I'm sure you've seen them they shoot a lot of threes, they get on those runs. I mean, sometimes they're a little bit more like 3 or nothing, like they miss a lot of threes, they struggle. Is there anything specifically about the way they shoot threes and what you can do on the perimeter, maybe to take away some of the great looks on the perimeter?
I mean, we're very big on details, and, you know, and just watching, obviously, a lot of tape. The point guard does a terrific job of facilitating and getting people open shots. So the second that you try to kind of get in the lane and help, she's kicking. And so we have to be really disciplined on what we do and make their shooters put it on the floor. You know, we're not going to take everything away, so you got to kind of pick your poison of what you're going to give up, because they have a lot of weapons. So for us, you know, we're going to have to protect that three-point line. We're going to have to get back to the three-point line, and we're going to have to make sure that we're really disciplined defensively.
Yeah, Jack.
Coach, you only played 6 players in the A-10 title game, and you played a lot of games in a short span of a couple days. Is that something that concerns you in terms of the depth of your team leading into a running gun team like SU?
No, only because we're not in a 3 straight situation. You know, like we were down in Florida. We had to play Ball State, then we played Washington, then we played Texas. And that's hard. You know, we went a little deeper at that point, and then obviously as you get towards the end of the season, you go with who got you there, so to speak. I mean, we typically have gone 7 deep, but a lot of it is just depending on, you know, one of the kids is a freshman that I put in, and depending when she goes in, how she's able to adjust will determine whether she gets more time. But just because you know, there's day of rest in between, so I know, you know, Q plays a lot more kids, but at this situation, not at this time of year, no, I'm not concerned.
Coach, you come in with a 12-game winning streak, and you just won your conference tournament. Just talk about just keeping the momentum going as far as your team goes.
You know, I've always believed the season, you know, your whole season is broken up into 4 seasons. I think you have your out-of-conference season, your conference tournament, and then your postseason. So we're in 4th season. So the momentum is difficult because, you know, we've had a couple weeks off. So right now we're into a whole new season, and, you know, and 13 of our kids are freshmen or sophomores, so we're young. So my biggest challenge to them is we can't let them get out of the gates quickly because they really do jump on you with a lot of runs. So for us, it's important to, I said it doesn't have to reflect it on the scoreboard, but it does have to reflect it on how we're playing and what kind of shots we're giving up. I mean, we've had games in the beginning of the year when we started off where the 3-point shooters were getting threes. Well, if I look at it and I see that Digna is putting the ball on the floor and pulling up for a jumper inside the lane, then we're making them do something we haven't seen them do regularly. So our goal is to try to make them do something a little bit different.
Hey, Jay.
Coach, you mentioned having a young team, and the Syracuse team has mentioned all year they wanted to host, and they're poised to make a deep run to the Final Four. Do you have any concerns, kind of being here, this team for the first time, about the moment at all being too big, playing in the Carrier Dome tomorrow?
Well, this is the third time since I've been at Fordham that we've played Syracuse, and we've done pretty well in the first half, but then what happens is all of a sudden the second half comes and they kind of turn it on, and then the route took over. Carrier Dome doesn't concern me. I think, again, the kids will follow your lead, so if you have concerns, they have concerns, so to speak. But ironically, the last time I was here, I was, when we played in the Carrier Dome, we played here before, but then when I was at Monmouth, we played them in the NIT and played fairly well. So I think if you make it a concern, it becomes a concern. But as far as the big moment, that I can't answer because I don't know. I think the conference tournament, even to go back to the depth question, that was a concern 3 games in a row with the depth. But as far as the moment, I wasn't sure how our kids would be playing Duquesne at Duquesne, and we had one of our best games of the year. And then we, went to the conference championship, and our young kids responded. So I think our kids value the role of the underdog. I think they kind of embrace that role. For the last couple of weeks, we've been the hunted, and now we're back to being the hunters. And I think the early schedule we faced, nothing phases the kids as far as size, athletic ability. I mean, their point guard, I'm on the All-American committee with Q, so I'm very familiar with the point guard because I'm also on the Nancy Lieberman committee, and she's obviously somebody that jumps off the page, but, she's obviously one of the best point guards we would have faced all year. So we do, do we have a challenge ahead? Absolutely. But, on any given day, if anybody's ever seen Little Giants, it's just one day, one game, right? So I go back to the Little Giants just one time.
Jack.
I've got another depth question, but it's a different kind of depth. All 5 players on the floor that can shoot threes at any given time. Is the Carrier Dome depth perception thing a real thing? And I know you guys are going to hop out there and practice right now. Are you worried that they may not get enough shots up before game time?
I mean, that's a good question. We have a lot built into our practice today, and we chose to take the shoot-around tomorrow to give us that extra time. Of course, the advantage goes to Syracuse because they're more familiar with it. That's a hard question to answer without really seeing them, how they adjust to it. But again, it's funny. We played in some gyms that have had depth perception situations, but the kids don't know their depth perception situations, and so you don't tell them that. So don't bring it up.
Lindsay.
Hello again. When we spoke on the phone, you told me the story about Q was high school coach, you recruited some groups of players. So you've known him a while, and obviously it's an in-state program. I'm sure you had your eye on Syracuse as closely as you can while doing your current job. Q's very, very happy to be at home again. He talks about that was the goal. 2016, they went to the national title after starting here. I'd like your observations, just as somebody that's known him for a while and seen him develop as a coach, as to what he's done with this program. If there's anything that strikes you as like, well, I didn't see that coming.
I just think the consistency of the level he's kept the program, I think it's been fantastic. I mean, he's done a great job of blending the domestic and the international player. And I think he's gotten the kids believing in the system that he plays, and they do it very, very, very well. And so he's competitive and he's hungry, and I think his kids follow that lead. But I think the thing that's most impressive is he's one of the top teams in the country every single year. There's no real down year for him, and that's hard to sustain.
In the back.
Michael McCleary, the Daily Orange. Now, obviously, Syracuse is a team that takes a lot of shot attempts. So, have you been putting an extra emphasis on defensive rebounding and that type of stuff just to make sure that they don't get second chances?
Yeah, I mean, that's always been a point of emphasis for us, regardless of who we play, is not giving second chances. I mean, they've got some good size. They got a good balance of, an inside-outside attack. And long shots a lot of times result in long rebounds. But again, I think when you get to this point of the year, you've kind of faced every type of team, whether it's been a three-point shooting team, or it's been like VCU in the championship. They weren't a three-point shooting team. They were more pounded inside and get you off the dribble. And so we've kind of faced everything. So I think we'll be prepared for that.
We have time for 2 more questions. No further questions?
Nothing. Dom, nothing. My sons are doing great. I was so happy. My oldest son is an assistant with the Hornets, and they won last night. And then they played the Heat last week, and my middle son works for the Heat, and the Heat won, and that's not good, even though they're brothers. And then the little one plays at the University of Richmond. So. Well, the little one was going to come, but they have a big recruit on campus, and so they're doing dinner. But, yeah, I mean, they'll send me some information. And they sat down with me. You'll be interested. So they sat down with me this summer, and they said, Mom, let it ride. The 3, let it ride. I said, Velisi, she can't even shoot. It doesn't matter, Mom. Just that's the style you got to play. That's the style. That's what you got to do, Mom. And then the other one looked and said, oh, Mom's done pretty good on her own, what do you think, we let her go? And so yeah, it's fantastic time just sharing that with my husband and the kids, just sharing those observations. So it's been fun following what they're doing, especially learning from Pop. Pop's a character, but there's stories there that are fantastic. He worked there for the Spurs for 5 years, so there's some good stories.
All right, thank you, Coach. Welcome to Syracuse,
Thank
and best
you very
of luck
much.
tomorrow.
Appreciate everything. Thank you.